Why waiting to invest could be destroying your wealth in 2026. Right now, millions of people believe they are being smart by waiting to invest. They are waiting for the economy to stabilize. They are waiting for inflation to cool down.
Our money is burning away day by day. There's no cart left to push forward anymore. When does the price stop rising alone? We are watching the tomorrow cost us all.
It's too late!
They are waiting for the perfect time. But what if I told you, waiting could actually be the most expensive financial mistake you make in 2026? And I am not talking about losing money in the stock market. I am talking about something even worse. I am talking about slowly losing wealth every single day while thinking you are playing it safe. Because while most people are sitting on the sidelines, the wealthiest investors are quietly positioning themselves for the next wave of opportunity. And history shows this pattern over and over again.
History reveals the pattern. The market finds the floor.
The people who wait for certainty usually pay the highest price. So in this video, we are going to break down the hidden cost of waiting to invest, why fear is keeping people financially stuck, how inflation silently destroys savings, why market crashes often create millionaires.
The dip is exactly what you waited for. Buy everything.
And the exact mindset shift smart investors use for volatile economies. Trust me, at the end of this video, you may never look at playing it safe the same way again. But before we begin, comment below. Are you currently investing, or are you waiting for the economy to improve? I want to hear your thoughts. And if you want more videos about money, investing, financial freedom, and building wealth in today's economy, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. Now let us get into it. The illusion of safety. One of the biggest financial illusions in the world is this. Cash is always safe. And emotionally, that idea makes sense. When the economy feels unstable, most people naturally move towards certainty. They avoid risks. They stop investing. They hold cash. They wait. Because waiting feels comfortable. But comfort and wealth are rarely built in the same place. Here is the problem. Your money does not stay still. Even if the number in your bank account stays the same, its value changes constantly. And in a volatile economy, inflation becomes one of the biggest silent wealth killers. Think about it. A few years ago, groceries were cheaper.
Look at all we got for such a great price.
Yeah, best deal ever. Not enough for the week.
Everything else is too steep.
Rent was cheaper. Transportation was cheaper. Electronics were cheaper. Everyday living costs were lower. Now compare that to today. The same amount of money buys less. That means if your money is not growing faster than inflation, you are quietly losing purchasing power. And most people do not notice it because it happens slowly, not dramatically, not instantly, not with a warning sign, just quietly. That is what makes it dangerous. Imagine leaving ice in the sun. You do not notice the melting second by second, but come back later and half of it is gone. And that is exactly what inflation does to idle money. And here is where it gets even more serious. Many savings accounts pay extremely low interest compared to inflation. So people think they are protecting their money, while their real wealth shrinks every year. This is why some financial experts say, cash is not always safe. Sometimes it is guaranteed loss. Now, Does that mean you should invest recklessly? Absolutely not. You should always have emergency savings. You should manage risk wisely. You should invest according to your goals. But completely avoiding investing out of fear can become incredibly expensive over time, and the longer you wait, the harder it becomes to catch up. Why people wait too long? So if waiting can be so costly, why do so many people still do it? Because fear is powerful, especially during uncertain times. Everywhere you look, there is bad news: economic slowdown, market volatility, inflation, layoffs. Recession fears. Political uncertainty. And when fear dominates the headlines, people start believing they need perfect certainty before they act. But here is the reality: perfect certainty does not exist. Not in investing, not in business, not in life. If you wait for the economy to feel completely safe before investing, you may wait forever. And ironically, by the time everyone feels confident again, prices are often already much higher. This has happened repeatedly throughout history. During market crashes, most people panic.
The markets are down 80% in 1 minute. My entire portfolio just evaporated. Stay in your positions until the circuit breakers.
But years later, those same periods are often viewed as incredible buying opportunities. Think about major financial downturns from the past. At the time, they felt terrifying. People believed the economy would never recover. Yet markets historically recovered over time, and investors who stayed consistent often benefited massively. This is one of the biggest differences between emotional investing and disciplined investing. Emotional investors react to fear. Disciplined investors focus on long-term strategy.
The trajectory holds steady under scrutiny. No immediate pivot required yet.
That does not mean disciplined investors never feel nervous. They do. But they understand something important: volatility is temporary. Long-term growth is built through consistency. And this mindset shift changes everything, because instead of seeing downturns only as danger, experienced investors often see them as opportunities. The cost of missing the best days. Here is something most people do not realize. Some of the biggest gains in the market happen during periods of extreme uncertainty, and many of the best recovery days happen very close to the worst downturns. That means investors who panic and leave the market often miss the rebound, and missing just a few major recovery days can seriously reduce long-term returns. This is one reason timing the market is so difficult, because nobody rings a bell and announces, "Today is the perfect day to invest." Markets move fast. Fear spreads quickly, and recoveries can happen when people least expect them. This creates a dangerous cycle. People sell during fear. They wait for confidence. Prices rise. Then they finally invest after much of the recovery already happened. In other words, they buy high because fear made them sell low.
All liquid, all sold. Nothing left to watch fall. Asset hashtag 402 bought at 3 times the peak value. I knock! The market taught me nothing about human price.
Now let us be clear. No one can perfectly predict the market.
The pattern is nowhere to be found.
Not influencers,
Trust me, the breakout is inevitable.
not economists, not billionaires, not financial media, and anyone pretending they can consistently predict every market move is probably exaggerating.
The dip is merely a correction. This is a $1 trillion opportunity. Hold steady.
That is why many long-term investors focus less on perfect timing and more on consistent participation. Because over long periods, time in the market has historically mattered more than trying to perfectly time every move. And this is where patience becomes a superpower. Not emotional patience, strategic patience. The ability to stay consistent while everyone else is reacting emotionally. The power of compounding. Now let us talk about one of the most powerful forces in investing, compounding. This is the concept that your money can generate returns, and then those returns generate more returns over time. At first, compounding looks slow, almost boring. But over long periods, it becomes explosive. And this is why waiting can become so expensive. Because when you delay investing, you are not just losing time, you are losing compound growth. And compound growth is incredibly difficult to recover later. Imagine two people. Person A starts investing early and stays consistent. Person B waits years for the perfect time. Even if person B eventually invests more money later, person A may still end up far ahead because of time. That is the hidden advantage wealthy investors understand. Time matters a lot. This is why many successful investors focus on starting early rather than starting perfectly, because perfection is impossible. But consistency is achievable. And in volatile economies, consistency becomes even more valuable. Why? Because consistent investing during uncertainty may allow investors to buy assets at lower prices over time. This strategy is often called dollar cost averaging. Instead of trying to predict the perfect entry point, investors invest gradually and consistently.
Time favors the patient.
That reduces emotional decision-making, and for many people, it creates a more sustainable long-term approach. Again, this is not about gambling. It's about disciplined investing. There is a huge difference.
Patience is the only strategy that compounds.
All or nothing.
And nothing fails you.
Why volatility creates opportunity. Most people see volatility and think, danger. Experienced investors often see potential opportunity. Now obviously, not every investment succeeds, and risk is real. But historically, periods of fear have often created opportunities for long-term investors. Why? Because fear pushes prices down. When prices fall, strong assets can sometimes become undervalued, and investors with patience may benefit when markets eventually recover. Think about this. If you liked a business, stock, or investment before, why would lower prices automatically make it unattractive? In many cases, people become more interested in products when they go on sale. But in investing, people often panic when prices drop. That emotional contradiction is one reason fear creates opportunity. Now, this does not mean every declining investment is worth buying. Research matters. Risk management matters. Diversification matters. Some of the greatest wealth-building periods started during times of uncertainty.
My savings are gone. My wealth started here.
Not comfort. This is why some investors become more active during downturns instead of disappearing. They understand that volatility can create discounts, and why their risk frees from fear. They focus on long-term value. Social media is making fear worse. There is another major problem in 2026. Fear spreads faster than ever. Every day, breaking news alerts, market crash predictions, recession videos, viral panic posts, economic doom headlines, and social media algorithms reward emotional content because fear gets clicks. The more dramatic the headline, the more attention it gets. This creates an environment where people constantly feel like disaster is around the corner. And when people consume fear non-stop, they often become financially paralyzed. They stop investing, they stop learning, they stop taking action. But here is what is interesting. The loudest voices online are not always the most successful investors. In fact, many successful investors are boring. They focus on long-term thinking.
We are not just building wealth, we are curating an era of unprecedented stability that will define the next 40 years. Every asset we hold now is a seed for the forests of tomorrow. Do you see the horizon where our legacy takes root?
Patience. Discipline. Consistency. Risk management. Emotional control. That does not go viral as easily as panic.
It's part-time. The clause we called it out in his true series to Munhow.
But historically, those principles have mattered far more than emotional predictions. And this is why protecting your mindset is critical, because investing is not just financial, it is psychological. Your emotions can either become your biggest asset or your biggest liability. The difference between rich and wealthy thinking. Here is another mindset shift that changes how people think about investing. Rich and wealthy are not always the same thing. Many people focus on looking rich, luxury cars, designer clothes, expensive lifestyles, social media validation. But wealth is different. Wealth is ownership. Wealth is assets. Wealth is cash flow. Wealth is long-term growth.
The foundation is laid, and the horizon is Butuan Koda.
Wealth is financial freedom. And wealthy people often think differently about uncertainty. Instead of asking, how do I avoid all risk? They ask, how do I manage risk intelligently while still allowing my money to grow? That is a huge difference. Because avoiding all risk often means avoiding opportunity. And over long periods, that can quietly keep people financially stuck. Now again, smart investing is not reckless. It is strategic. The goal is not blind risk. The goal is calculated growth, and that requires education. Which is why learning about investing may become one of the highest return skills you ever develop, because financial education changes how you see the world. You stop seeing money only as something to spend. You start seeing it as a tool that can work for you. Why starting small still matters. One reason many people never start investing is because they think they need huge amounts of money. But that belief stops countless people from even beginning. The truth is, many successful investors started small. What mattered most was developing the habit. Because investing is not only about money, it is about behavior. Consistency matters more than perfection. and small amounts invested consistently over long periods can become surprisingly powerful, especially when combined with compounding.
Watch it grow. There is no stopping us.
This is why waiting to become perfectly ready can be dangerous, because readiness often becomes an excuse for delay, and years pass faster than people realize. One of the saddest financial realities is hearing someone say, "I wish I started earlier." That sentence is incredibly common.
I should have saved more. I should have saved more.
Because once people finally understand compounding, they realize time was more valuable than they thought, and this is exactly why many financial experts encourage learning and starting early, not because markets are guaranteed, but because time can become one of your greatest financial advantages. The economy will always have problems. Here is a powerful truth most people eventually realize. There will always be something to worry about. Always. Every generation believes their economic challenges are uniquely terrifying.
Just another hard winter ahead.
The lines right now, longer than life itself. Nothing will change soon.
And during difficult moments, fear feels permanent, but history shows something fascinating. Economies change. Markets fluctuate. Prices happen. Recoveries happen. Innovation continues. Businesses evolve. Human progress keeps moving forward. Now, that does not mean every investment succeeds. Some companies fail. Some industries decline. Some risks are real. But waiting for a world without uncertainty is unrealistic, because uncertainty is normal. And once investors understand that, they stop trying to predict every short-term movement. Instead, they focus on building long-term strategies. This shift is incredibly important, because short-term thinking creates emotional decisions. Long-term thinking creates patience. And patience is becoming increasingly rare in a world obsessed with instant results. The dangers of financial paralysis. One of the biggest hidden dangers in volatile economies is financial paralysis. People become so overwhelmed by uncertainty that they stop making decisions entirely. They endlessly research. They overthink. They consume financial content all day. But they never take action. And while education is important, at some point, action matters too. Because information without execution changes nothing. This is where many people get trapped. They think they are preparing, but years later, they are still waiting, still hesitant, still afraid. Meanwhile, inflation continues. Time continues. Opportunity continues. And eventually they realize the perfect moment never arrived. This is why successful investing often requires accepting discomfort, not recklessness. Discomfort, the understanding that uncertainty is part of the process. And despite that uncertainty, disciplined action still matters. What smart investors focus on. So what do smart long-term investors actually focus on during volatile economies? Usually not panic. Instead, many focus on long-term goals, diversification, consistent investing, emergency savings, financial education. Notice something? Most of those things are within your control. That is important, because markets are unpredictable. But your habits are not, and over long periods, habits often shape financial outcomes more than short-term predictions. This is why disciplined investing is often less exciting than social media makes it seem. It is not usually flashy. It is repetitive, but repetition builds results. And in a world where many people constantly chase shortcuts, consistency can become a competitive advantage. The real cost of waiting. So let us bring everything together. What is the real hidden cost of waiting to invest? It is not just missing market gains. It is losing purchasing power to inflation, missing compound growth, delaying financial freedom.
It's never enough. I'm stuck in this cycle.
Staying trapped in fear, losing valuable time, missing opportunities created by volatility, allowing emotions to control financial decisions, and perhaps most importantly, it is losing years you can never get back, because money can potentially be rebuilt, time cannot. And once people truly understand that, their perspective on investing changes forever. They stop asking, when will the perfect time arrive? And they start asking, how can I build intelligently despite uncertainty? That question changes everything. What is interesting is that many of the world's most respected investors and leaders have warned people about the danger of waiting too long, because wealth is rarely built through perfect timing. It is usually built through patience, discipline, and long-term thinking. Warren Buffett once famously said, "Eat ye fearful, when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful." That quote became legendary for a reason, because it explains how emotional crowds often make poor financial decisions. When markets are booming, people chase hype. When markets crash, people panic. But disciplined investors think differently. They understand that fear can create opportunity. Another powerful quote comes from billionaire investor Peter Lynch. He said, "Far more money has been lost by investors preparing for corrections than in corrections themselves."
Passing right through my fingers.
Think about that carefully. Many people lose more money waiting endlessly for disaster than they lose from actual market downturns. Why? Because they stay frozen. They never start. They never participate. They never allow time and compounding to work in their favor. And eventually, inflation quietly reduces the value of their savings anyway. Even outside investing, world leaders and innovators understood the importance of taking action despite uncertainty. Former British Prime Minister Winston Churchill once said, "Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts." That mindset applies perfectly to investing.
We build portfolios that stand firm when others falter. Volatile markets reveal the true strength of strategy. Time is on the side of the prudent.
Markets rise. Markets fall. Economies expand. Economies contract. But long-term success often belongs to people who continue learning and continue building despite uncertainty. Another famous quote comes from Tony Robbins, "The path to success is to take massive, determined action."
Power starts with a single decision.
Now that does not mean reckless action. It means intentional action. Because information without execution rarely changes lives. And one of the greatest financial tragedies is spending years learning about wealth without ever building any. Steve Jobs also shared a mindset that applies strongly to investing and life decisions. He said, "You cannot connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backward." That is incredibly powerful. Because in the moment, uncertainty feels terrifying. But years later, many people realize the opportunities they feared most were actually the moments that could have transformed their future. And perhaps one of the most important investing quotes ever came from Benjamin Graham, known as the father of value investing. He said, "The investor's chief problem And even his worst enemy is likely to be himself. Not the economy, and not the headlines, not volatility, himself, his emotions.
All these numbers, they don't matter. It's never been about the money. My fear, it's the only thing standing between me and peace. They are my obstacle.
His fear, his impatience. That quote explains why investing is often more psychological than mathematical. Because the hardest part is not usually understanding investing.
It's okay, the market always recovers. I've read all the right chapters. Buy low, sell high. The charts aren't going to burn a hole in your...
Controlling emotions during uncertainty. And the people who master emotional discipline often gain a huge advantage over those constantly reacting to fear. How to build confidence as a new investor. Now maybe you are watching this and thinking, okay, I understand waiting too long can be dangerous, but I still feel nervous about investing. That is completely normal. Most investors feel nervous at the beginning, because investing involves uncertainty, but confidence usually does not appear before action. Confidence often grows through education and experience.
The market rewards those who listen.
Success is a journey, not a destination.
That is why one of the smartest things beginners can do is focus on learning before chasing fast profits. Read books, study investing principles, learn about risk, understand diversification. Learn how compound growth works. Because financial education reduces emotional decision-making, and emotional decisions are often what hurt investors most. Another important lesson is this: you do not need to know everything before you start. Many people delay investing because they think they must become financial experts first. But the truth is, nobody starts as an expert. Every experienced investor was once a beginner, and many successful investors built knowledge gradually over years. The important thing is staying curious and continuing to improve. One of the biggest mindset shifts is understanding that investing is not about getting rich overnight. It is about gradually building ownership and financial stability over time. That is far less exciting than social media promises. But historically, slow and disciplined strategies have often outperformed emotional chasing. And remember this: small progress repeated consistently becomes massive progress over time. That principle applies to investing, business, fitness, education, relationships, almost every area of life. Consistency compounds, and once people truly understand that, they stop obsessing over overnight success. If you enjoyed this video and want more content about investing, financial freedom, wealth building, and surviving today's economy smarter, hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications, and comment below. What is the biggest thing stopping people from investing right now? Fear, lack of money, or lack of knowledge? I read the comment.
Thank you for the kind words. It means the world to me.
I love your consistency. Keep it
up. And I would love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.